Here we are on our spiritual journey towards a more generous life. You're doing good. We're on the home stretch now. Blessed are those who endure to the end. It's not just a matter of endurance. By now you're finding it pure joy. Cheryl and I were at a conference. It was a conference to teach us about financial counseling and how to counsel people who were in deep financial trouble. For us as counselors, though, I remember the day where they put before us a piece of paper. And at the top of the piece of paper it said, "Quick Claim Deed." And there on that piece of paper it had us to list out all the things that we thought we had of value. Things like our home, our cars, our coin collections, collections of any kinds of antiques or whatever, our clothes, our radios, our TVs, everything that we thought was of value, we were to write down on this quick claim deed form. And then we could read the paragraph that's at the top. It said, and I was to put in my name, do hereby give, and it continued on and said that I am right now in this quick claim deed changing everything from my ownership to God's ownership. And it wanted me to be as specific as possible. And I looked around the room and I could see these people writing down the things that they had that we thought were theirs, writing them down on this form, and they were legally transferring ownership of what was theirs to God. They wanted to acknowledge the principle that we learned at the very beginning. Everything belongs to God. Now, why do I bring that up now? You already know that. The reason is because if everything belongs to God, then we have to trust what He wants to be done with it is the correct thing. We can't say, oh, I want my thing or what I desire to be done with it. We have to say we want the owner's will to be done. And that's very much along the lines of the principle we're studying today. Rely on God's will for your giving results in blessings. If we do according to what the owner desires to be done with his resources, with his time, with his money, with his talents, with his efforts, if we do what the owner desires to be done with these things, He will bless. Our texts for today, you can read them, Proverbs 3, 5 through 10, or Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 14, both of which teach us to trust in the Lord with all your heart. Don't lean to your own understanding. Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 14 starts out, if you fully obey the Lord your God and cheerfully follow all His commands that I give you this day, the Lord your God will set you high above all nations on earth. What promises? Tells us not to be wise in our own eyes, to follow the Lord, to shun evil, and He will bring about the wealth. He will cause the first fruits of the crops. He will cause our barns to be filled with goodness. He will cause our vats to overflow the brim. He will cause the heavens to open up and storehouses of bounty and to send rain. And you see, the owner of these things wants to bless us. The owner desires to bless us with more of His goodness, with more of His mercy, with more of His kindness. So I encourage you. I encourage you to do what God wants us to do. Rely on His will for our giving. If we rely on His will for our giving, He will give us a blessing. So today, remember, it's God's money. It's His time. It's His talents. Live